The Missouri Tigers, looking for a bounce-back performance, travel to Amherst, Massachusetts to take on the UMASS Minutemen. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game as the Tigers and UMASS do battle. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips. He's Cole Thompson. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms, as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. This segment brought to you by our friends over at RHOBACK. Guys, go to RHOBACK.com. Use promo code SECU for 20% off your first purchase. That's RHOBACK.com. Promo code SECU for 20% off today. The Missouri Tigers, after suffering a throttling at the hands of Texas A&M in College Station, look to pick themselves off the mat and bounce back in what's one of the most unique road trips we'll see any SEC team take this season when they travel to McGurk Alumni Stadium in Amherst, Massachusetts to take on the UMass Minutemen. We are here previewing, predicting, and breaking down this game. I am Chris Phillips, and helping me do so, my good friend, Cole Thompson. He joins me once again. Cole, what's going on, my man? Have you ever heard of McGurk Alumni Stadium ever before I just said it?
One time. One time I've heard of it, and it was because of, for some reason, I had to drop something off there. But, Chris, I'm going to be completely real with you. We had a council this morning talking to the Truman faithful, those out in Como. We're heartbroken right now because we've heard all the negativity surrounding our program being Mizzou, and we're past that. We thought that the jokes were over. We thought that this was now no longer going to be a conference that kind of made fun of us. We thought that we were all cohesively together. And a tip of the hat to Texas A&M, tip of the hat to you. As a true bandwagon Mizzou fan that I am, we have to go ahead and give flowers where flowers are due. But we kind of knew that this was always expected. The script was written against us, Chris. We knew that we were going to lose this game because they set us up to start looking ahead towards having to travel out to Massachusetts for a non-conference game. We're Missouri. We don't travel out East Coast. We don't go to Boston. No, we stay right in the heart of Branson, and we go to Kansas City to play our neutral site games. So you know what? Unfortunately, we're going to have to teach those Minutemen a little bit of a lesson this week. I think that's where our brains are. And the SEC, I got on the phone this morning, Mizzou faithful. Don't worry. The council and I had a conversation. They expect us to show up. We cannot be leaving ourselves behind in Como and be sitting there like a toddler, kicking and screaming, saying, I don't want to go. I don't go. We're going, and we're going to make sure that those Minutemen have 1 minute to figure out how they're going to defeat us. That's why you had me on this preview.
Like you mentioned, Cole, Mizzou, frauds. There's a lot of titles being thrown out there when it comes to the Tigers. They'll have a chance at redemption this week, though, and obviously trying to exercise some of those demons and get the nasty taste out of their mouth that was the beatdown they suffered to the Aggies just a week ago. Again, this game taking place this Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time. ESPN2 is where you can find it again in Amherst, Massachusetts at McGurk Alumni Stadium. Cole, admittedly, if you'd have asked me before this preview to name UMass's stadium, I wouldn't have known it. So I learned something new today. Missouri is a 27.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 53.5. And this is the first time meeting ever between the two schools. As we take a look at the Minutemen, Cole, it's been a struggle, 1-5 overall. They're coming off a 34-20 loss to Northern Illinois, that same Northern Illinois team that beat Notre Dame, by the way. But you look at their schedule, just one win against Central Connecticut, 35-31 a few weeks back. Outside of that, they've lost to Eastern Michigan, Toledo, Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, and I mentioned Northern Illinois. So UMass kind of is what they are. Something of note, Cole, their quarterback, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, or maybe I will, but I just figured out how to pronounce Nico's last name. It's Taysun Fomaku. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways.
It's A for effort. I'll give you that.
Taysun P. You might know the name, though, because he started his career at Clemson, transferred to Georgia Tech, and now is at UMass. He is their quarterback, Cole. He's their leading passer and their rusher. But I'm not going to spend, Cole, a lot of time on the Minutemen, because this game's about Missouri. Let's just not even dance around that. This game is all about Mizzou. And Cole, as we dive into this matchup, it's really about how does Missouri pick themselves up off the mat? Because like you mentioned, they're hearing all the noise this week, right? Mizzou, frauds. Missouri was the most fraudulent top 10 team ever. You got, you got everybody from national guys to guys that don't even talk college football it just seems like this is dance on Missouri's grave week. It's really all about how does Mizzou come together and realize, Cole, the goals are still in front of them. Like, not everything's about making the college football playoff, but in the bigger picture, like, you still have everything to play for if you're Missouri, even though it may not feel that way after suffering a really tough defeat at Texas A&M. So I just want to see, how does Missouri come out? They should win this football game. I mean, again, Cole, they're a 4-touchdown favorite, but it's more about how do you look and do you use this as an opportunity to get better, to rally the troops and try to build back some momentum, because you're going to need it, because you're going to dive right back into SEC play. It gets no easier from here on out.
Chris, UMass doesn't have a winning season since 2012 when they came back to the FBS level. I'm going to say that again. They don't have a winning season since coming back to the FBS level. This has nothing to do with UMass showing up on Saturday. They could show up with a 5-star that said, I just want to stay close to mom and dad. I have a best friend that's a 4-star that is friends with the coach. And they still should get eviscerated by 60 points or more. That's what the case is. This is about Missouri being Missouri. And this is about the Mizzou jokes kind of dying down a little bit and getting back to what is the standard of what we know out in Como. This is a good team. They're a solid team. I'm not going to sit here and act like Texas A&M was this roster that Mizzou overlooked. What it shows is that this year the SEC is completely an unexpected roller coaster of emotions, to where if you do not deliver your best punch, you will be shown the door, and it will be an ugly loss on your resume that won't benefit you or anybody else that is in your path. That's what it is. But this is about Missouri showing that what was on display at Kyle Field was a blip on the radar. You were unprepared. You heard Eli Drinkwitz going into the week saying, we're preparing for Marcel Reed. Well, number 15 takes the field, and he leads his way to nearly a perfect performance in front of the Aggie faithful. We're preparing on how to slow down the run game. You didn't do that. Le'Veon Moss was an 8-ball that was a basic wonder of emotions, and who knew what he was going to bring? We're preparing for this defensive front to be able to get physical. They didn't just out-physical work you. They terrorized Brady Cook. And so this is where you have to realize there are folks out in Nashville, Tennessee, who believe that Vanderbilt's better than you. There are folks out in Columbia, South Carolina, the other Como, what we call Cola, who think that they're better than you. They have you compared right alongside Florida State, which dropped yet another game as the biggest frauds in college football. This is where you allow pent-up aggression, anger, and also a militant overall persona to take place. You're going to play the Minutemen. The Minutemen worked in 1776 to defend this great country that was going to be founded. You have to be the militant men. Clean, concise, consistent, surgically accurate. Everyone has to be on their P's and Q's. This is a statement game, and it's not a statement for the rest of the SEC. They're going to make jokes regardless. They're going to sit here, laugh at you, and say that you're a fraud, that you're everything under the book, that you're nowhere near capable of going to the college football playoff. This is an internal factor. This is where players that maybe looked like they checked out in the third quarter are checking back into the third quarter. This is where Brady Cook is not making cooked throws. He's actually making concise throws. This is a game where you want to see Texas A&M kind of go, we had our best punch and Missouri played a D- performance. That's what you want to see from this Tigers team, because you kind of have to, because it's only going to get more challenging from here. You still got to play Alabama. You still got to play South Carolina. You still have to play Oklahoma. You still have to play Arkansas, that's kind of gaining a little bit of gusto at this point. Your schedule is far from over, but this is one of those games that you have to show what version of Mizzou can show up to the mat and pick yourself off of it. And more importantly, if you're a Tigers fan, stop feeling sorry for yourselves. I don't want to hear a damn Tiger fan on Tuesday afternoon go, the season's over, woe is me. You're not a Tiger fan. I'm a bandwagon Tiger fan. I can tell you that that's not the aura that we carry down for the black and gold. We don't have that. You got to make sure that you pick yourself off the mat and go, we're going to give our best performance on Saturday. And by the time that I crack open my 6-cold beer, it's already a 35-point swing in favor of us. We're seeing Drew Pine take the field with the second team.
Yeah, Cole, I want to see the physicality first things first. I just,
Yeah.
after you get bullied the way you did in College Station on both lines of scrimmage, especially the offensive line really struggled. I think that's the thing that, listening to folks both that cover the conference and nationally, and, also we talked about it on our Sunday Funday show that, Missouri got pushed around. I think that was the thing that was most concerning. They deserted the run game early, obviously, because the game got so out of hand. They got bullied on the other side defensively. So, Mizzou getting back to, are we going to learn anything from this game? No. I've kind of gotten to a point, Cole, where I just, for better or for worse, I don't take the results in these kind of games all that seriously because we've seen it this year. Like, it just doesn't really mean that much. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that much as long as you take care of your business. If you come out there, and this game is somehow a game in the third quarter, we're going to be having some really difficult conversations. So for Mizzou, it's all about, again, going out there, handling your business. But the physicality in the trenches, pushing somebody around. And then in the passing game, Cole, getting somebody going. I know Theo Weiss had a touchdown against A&M, but continuing to get somebody going outside of Luther Burden, because Luther Burden's been their premier target all year, but where are the rest of the weapons? Like, this is supposed to be an offense that I thought could be one of the more dangerous in the SEC, and it just hasn't been that. Like, Brady Cook's been off. Luther Burden, I don't even still know if they throw him the football enough, to be honest with you, though. But
They don't.
There's other guys. Yeah, there's other guys, too, though, that I'm like, there's a lot of names, but we just haven't had production really come with it. So, this is a get right week for Mizzou. That's what this is. This is a get right week. It has to be offensively, defensively, heck, special teams, everything across the board, and mentally for the Tigers. It's kind of a reset. And I also want to see too, Cole, again, you're going into a really funky road environment. Like, this is a weird game. I don't even know how many McGurk alumni seats. I doubt it's very many. How does Mizzou approach this and attack this? Because I will say, Cole, something that was concerning to me at Texas A&M. It felt like they checked out early in that game.
They
like
100%
they hit a little bit of adversity, or a lot of bit of adversity, however you want to phrase it. But the dejected looks on Missouri early, and then it snowballed and got away. What is the mentality and what is the energy like on the sidelines for Missouri this week? And I think that's something to keep an eye on. But again, Tigers should roll in this game, and it'll be fun to watch because it's going to be the weirdest road contest of the year, and seeing them in that tiny little stadium in Amherst, Mass. is going to be fun. But for Mizzou, it's just about, like you said, pick yourself up off the mat, get things rolling, and get back on the right side of things, the winning side of things. And to your point, one last time to really beat up on somebody and feel really good before SEC play. The teeth of that hits you once again, and the week in, week out grind, you get back to it. So, Cole, let's go ahead and dive into our predictions again. I don't want to waste any more time with this one. I'll let you start. Again, noted Missouri bandwagon rider. Did the Tigers get right this week in Amherst, Massachusetts?
Let me make something very clear to the Tiger faithful right now. The way that you have to travel to Amherst, Massachusetts to take on that squad in that stadium, there are people that think that's what you deserve. You deserve to be playing in front of those type of fans so you don't embarrass yourself. So you don't have to look that way against inferior competition like Boston College, or you have to look that way against Diego Pavia, who at this point has become the literal reincarnation of Baba Yaga. You don't have to embarrass yourself at a 110,000 stadium like Kyle Field. You get to play in front of a small crowd because if you're a small-minded team. Let that sink in for a minute. That's what the nation thinks of you. That's what people on this channel think of you. That's what many people around the country have told me when I said you picked the wrong bandwagon roster to join with. But I didn't pick the wrong bandwagon to join with. No, I didn't. I picked a team that was resilient, a team that showed you last year what it looks like to go down to the wire with the #1 program in the country and make it your own. Treat that stadium. Treat that small little golf clap of a victory when the Minutemen find their way for a first down. This little that. Treat it like it's Sanford. Treat it like it's a Neyland. Treat it like it's Jordan Hare Stadium. Treat it like it's any other hostile environment and that it is a ravenous crowd. Brady Cook, pretend like it's actually louder in practice than it is out there, because it probably will be. Treat it that way. And remember that the season's still ahead. Bama lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt took you down to double overtime. That's a win for you. Texas A&M's loss to Notre Dame doesn't look that bad. You should be feeling pretty good. Luther Burden, get back right. Number 3, he's got to find the end zone 3 times. Mookie Cooper, I want to see you make some big-time plays. And Toriano Pride, hold on to the freaking football and don't let a guy like Terry Bussey break it out of your hands. He may be a former high school defensive back, but you're a superstar that came on in from Clemson. I'm taking Missouri to win this one. I'm taking Missouri to cover this one. I'm taking the Tigers to trounced the Minutemen. They have their not 1 minute of fame. The Minutemen have 15 seconds of fame. They get on the board with the field goal, but give me 45-3 in favor of the Tigers. Truman should be very proud to welcome you guys back next week when you have to take on a much more terrifying opponent, which honestly isn't going to be that terrifying if we're being completely honest.
Cole, official capacity of McGurk Alumni Stadium is 17,000. 17,000. So
that's what they think, Mizzou, of you. That's what they think of you.
It will be, to Brady Cook's point, it will be louder in practice, I venture to say. This is a want-to game, Cole. This is a want-to. Does Missouri want to cover? If they want to, they can. I really think Missouri can do whatever they want to do. For me, it's just about in a game like this, are you approaching it the right way? Do you come out with the right mentality, right mindset? Are you hanging your head and woe is me? Are you, you've been listening all week to the Mizzou chatter and the fraudulent chatter? Because Missouri's still a good football team. Missouri's still a football team that should come out, win this game with ease. It's all about want to. I'm not selling all my stock on Mizzou yet. Again, it's a good football team. I'm not talking college football playoff, whatever. That's a debate for another day. I still believe in Eli Drinkwitz, the talent on this team, the core, the nucleus of this team, a leader in Brady Cook. I think he can rally the troops. I do think Missouri wants to come out and play well. I think they will. I think they'll use this week to, again, use it as a get-right game. Feel good against somebody else. Pick on somebody else that's a little bit smaller than them, lesser competition than them. Cole, I was going back and forth. Do they cover? Do they not? Again, it's all about a want to. If Missouri wants to cover, they can cover. Dare I say it's a name your score game, Cole. We talked about a lot of those early in the season in some of these non-conference games. I'm going to go Missouri 41, UMass 7. I'll give them the cover. I think Mizzou wants to come out. If I'm Mizzou, number one, I'm bullying them at the line of scrimmage on both sides. Number two, I'm getting a lot of guys the football on offense. Like, I want all my playmakers to have confidence moving forward. Like, yes, the Luther Burdens. You better feature him. But let's get the Owees the football. Let's get Mookie Cooper the football. Let's get the rest of the, Norfleet. I think he's still playing, right? The tight end.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Get him the football. Get those running backs going. Like, let's use this week to get everybody feeling good. Like, remind ourselves who we are, what we can do. I think I think Mizzou will do that. What does it mean in the grand scheme of things? Cole, probably nothing. But for 1 week at least, especially washing out the nasty taste of that game and what happened in Texas A&M and College Station, I think you got to use this week, again, to feel good, pick yourself up off the mat. It's all about want to. I think they will. 41-7. I got Missouri winning this game. So
the Undertaker decided at one point to break out of the coffin when people thought he was dead. Mizzou, break out of the coffin before you welcome in the other Tigers, the terrible Tigers on the Plains that still have Peyton Thorne as their starting quarterback.
Don't strengthen the D in Mizzou. Pause. Guys, again, let us know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you see this one playing out when Missouri travels to Amherst to take on the UMass Minutemen? Guys, that's going to do all for us. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get those. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. For Cole Thompson, I'm Chris Phillips. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you on the other side.
MIC!